Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. We begin with a massive tease by Ming-Na Wen, who talks about what's to come in the remaining episodes of the Book of Boba Fett. In an interview with Radio Times, she was asked about the secrecy behind the show and if fans can expect a surprise on the level of what the Mandalorian Season 2 finale brought us. And then the follow-up question was how she thinks fans will feel by the end of the season. Ming-Na Wen answered as follows: I really hope they want to go back and see the whole thing over again in a different light. I'm so careful with my words here, how things have evolved and all these other elements that have come into play. You know, that's what's so great with John and Dave. They're so knowledgeable about this world, about Star Wars, and they're such huge fans that they know how to set up the pieces and make moves that you don't even know are coming, and then suddenly it's like, oh, checkmate. So yeah, we're waiting. We're waiting for that win, we're waiting for that hit, and not just till the very last episode. Like each and every episode, there's new moves and new elements that come into play that will hopefully surprise the fans. I know it surprised me. So the one phrase that stands out, at least in my mind from this interview, is checkmate, we're waiting for that hit. In other words, everything the show has been building up to is going to all come together, and our perception of previous episodes, as she hints, is going to be altered. My theory is that this is in relation to who the Pikes are truly working for and why they're on Tatooine. But as I brought up recently, it could just as well relate to Boba's flashbacks. In either case, she also mentions elements that surprised her, and that she thinks will also surprise fans. Now, Ming-Na Wen herself is a massive Star Wars fan, and so when she said something in the series surprised her, I trust her, and that's really reassuring. Again, she has to be very vague, but she does make a point in stating it's not only in the last episode. This is reminiscent of what the director of photography of the show said the other day, when he said that episodes 5, 6, and 7 are the ones that are most going to please fans, and not just 7, the finale. And that is kind of in line with what Ming-Na Wen is saying, and as we know, Bryce Dallas Howard has episode 5 and Dave Filoni has 6. Those are already set up to be big episodes, and those are probably going to have the most surprises, these kind of colourful surprises that Ming-Na Wen and Temuera Morrison have been teasing. And bear in mind, Bryce Dallas Howard, besides her work in The Mandalorian Season 1, directed the episode in Season 2 that brought Bo-Katan to live action. And Chapter 11, The Heiress, is still one of the best episodes in the entire series. And likewise, Dave Filoni helmed the episode that brought Ahsoka, his own creation from the Clone Wars, into live action as well. If those episodes are anything to go off and the directing skills were on point, then I think we're in for a real treat with those two episodes, and at least in Filoni's case, he's going to probably try and bring some more elements from his animated series into live action. We've all speculated on Cad Bane, but given Boba's flashbacks to Kamino, I wouldn't be surprised if we see 1 or 2 clones. But one thing at a time, we are just 2.5 days away from Chapter 4, and it's worth noting that the next 3 episodes are not directed by Robert Rodriguez. We just spoke about Bryce Dallas Howard and Dave Filoni, but it's believed Chapter 4 before those two is going to be directed by Kevin Tancharoen. And that is the episode with the dinner table scene where the 3 divisions of Mos Espa come to Jabba's palace: the Trandoshans, the Aquilish, and the Klatooinians. Now, the finale, Chapter 7, in February, is directed by Robert Rodriguez. So far, he's had Chapters 1 and 3, and Steph Green directed Chapter 2. Ironically, her episode was the best received by fans. Robert Rodriguez is definitely talented, and this is nothing against him, but having read the comments on my videos and seen some other discussions on Twitter and Reddit, the fact that the next 3 are not directed by him has gotten some fans really excited. So we'll just have to see what happens. So now, my dear friends, sticking on the subject of the Book of Boba Fett, Temuera Morrison has talked about the appearance of Danny Trejo as the Rancor keeper. It's no surprise that Robert Rodriguez and actor Danny Trejo are frequent collaborators, but I don't think anyone expected him in the Book of Boba Fett. And even when filming the series, Temuera Morrison says this was a bit of a surprise. Danny has got that great face, great texture, great voice. We had a great time together. Ming-Na Wen also said she's a massive Danny Trejo fan. It was so nice to see the fandom welcome Danny Trejo into Star Wars, and the meme that's been going round is Machete finally made it into space. I've seen some theories saying he might betray Boba Fett, but I don't see that happening. It's a possibility, but I see Danny's character as an ally. And let's be real, if he tries anything, Boba is gonna deal with him. And so now guys, we're going to be talking about Cal Kestis, because Cameron Monaghan, who plays him in Jedi Fallen Order, has spoken about what he hopes the franchise is going to do with his character going forward. We're all expecting an announcement for Jedi Fallen Order 2 this coming spring or summer, and as we know, Cameron Monaghan is very passionate about his character, and I've always thought they've got to bring him into live action at some stage. They've told part of his story in Jedi Fallen Order, and this will no doubt continue in the sequel to the game, but eventually they should connect him to one of the live action shows, and maybe that is in the pipeline. The only question is, will it be in the Mandoverse, or maybe even in the Bad Batch Season 2? Well, let's take a look at what Cameron Monaghan had to say about what he wants for the future of his character. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order introduced Star Wars fans to an all-new set of characters, particularly the protagonist, a certain Padawan who survived the events of Order 66, Cal Kestis. The first Jedi Fallen Order game left things off in such a way that a sequel is expected. A sequel that will continue Cal's story at that. Recently, ComingSoon.net spoke with the actor who provided the motion capture, likeness and voice acting of Cal Kestis. The website asked him where he'd like Cal's story to go next, to which Monaghan revealed that he spent a lot of time thinking about this in his own time. In his own words, he said, "I think there's a lot more story to tell with Cal. Specifically, I would really like to explore telling Cal's story over time and seeing how this character transforms as he gets older, and how his perspective changes and how the world around him really informs who he is." Cal's story is very tragic, and I see us exploring the darkness of this character and his world. Very interesting choice of words. I really hope they do more with him, obviously in a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, but also in an upcoming show, whether that's one of the Mandalorian spin-offs or in animated form in the Bad Batch Season 2. In Season 1, we visited the scrapyard planet of Bracca, which is where he's from. A lot of us, myself included, assumed we may see him, but based on how young he would be, I think they're saving him for a later date. The visit to Bracca in Season 1 could be in some way foreshadowing a future appearance of the character. Given the popularity of Jedi Fallen Order as a game, he would be recognizable even amongst most of the casuals if he was brought into one of the series. And who wouldn't want to see more of BD1? But otherwise, my dear friends, I turn it over to you. What do you think of this massive tease by Ming-Na Wen? Are you excited for these supposed surprises coming up in the next few episodes? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and a huge welcome if you are, and also consider becoming a patron. The link is down there in the description, but otherwise, may the force be with you all. I'm Star Wars Meg, have a good one.